All right, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode to the Arts to the J podcast. And today's special guest is Francisco with Frankie and Son's Constructions. How you doing, Francisco? How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad you were able to come.
Oh, man, not a problem, man. You're not a problem at all.
Yeah, apparently you saw my message on Facebook, huh?
Yeah, I saw it a little late, but better late than never, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I tell everybody, hey, check your guys' Facebook messages, on the request folder right there. Sometimes you get messages there if you guys not friends, so just check it. You never know. Francisco said he had like 5 missed messages. You never know. That was probably business right there.
It's business, man. You're losing money, man. Not checking everything right.
Staying
focused.
All right. So I wanted to bring you in because I know you were doing a construction work. I'm almost kind of interested in that because I like doing little projects around the house.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, first of all, who is Francisco?
Well, I'm originally from Mexico.
Okay.
Been here almost all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I could say, from Beaumont. 33 years old,
Oh, you still young, man.
I'm starting to wear, I'm starting to feel the age on me.
Oh, man. Come on, man. I'm 43.
You're 43? Well, see, I had one of the guys who helps me. He's 23. So when I look at him and then I compare my age, my back pains kick in, knee pains and all that. But
yeah. Well, I want to say if you take care of yourself, especially doing that in your 30s too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get in your 40s, you're going to be good as long as you keep on taking yourself. Because I still feel good.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I think that's it's really important that I started focusing on right now. And I think what's great is that a lot of friends that I have, I see them focusing more. It makes me focus, going to the gym, eating right, taking your vitamins, man. That's a big plus right there.
Yeah,
just staying on top of that.
Yeah, but you can't get all your vitamins through the food.
Exactly.
So, what else about yourself? You say you came here from Mexico.
Mexico, yep.
Yeah.
Originally from Cerrito, San Luis Potosí.
Is that like the north side, south side?
It's more like in the middle of Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Some people call it el ombligo de Mexico.
El ombligo.
El ombligo, the
Okay.
belly button of Mexico. Yeah, we're right there. We're right there in the middle. Mm-hmm. So originally that's where we're from. Got here maybe about when I was 3. So remember bits and parts. I got a lot of family out
so you've been here for like 30 years.
So I've been here for 30 years, basically.
You're more American.
Oh, yeah, I'm more than here than from over there, but
yeah.
When people ask, I always say, yeah, I'm from Mexico, I'm nothing to hide about. I'm proud of it, but I'm also from here, spent my whole life. So whenever, there's things going on, I like to put my input on what I think because I've been here, so I know kind of how everything works and what's going on more here than over there.
Have you only been over here in the Golden Triangle area, or have you moved around?
I've been here in Beaumont my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Beaumont. We got here and we stayed here, and this is where we, just my mom and dad started raising me, my brother and my sister, and we just, stuck it out here. Which a lot of people look at Beaumont as a small place, or as a like murder capital of the world or whatever. But man, I see it as peaceful.
Yeah,
I see it peaceful, and I see there's so many resources, so much stuff so you can do, make a living out of it. I'm seeing.
Yeah, it all depends where you go. It's always location because you can always go to a nice city and they have their bad
exactly.
Bad areas.
I think it's in the mindset. It's the mindset of how you think. Like you said, a lot of people say, I got to get away from this town to make something of myself. Yeah. And I think you could just do it right here and there. It's just the mindset.
Yeah, because I lived in San Francisco when we first moved here to the States. And then moved here, stayed here for like almost 20 years, then moved to Birmingham for a couple of years. And so I enjoy my time, especially over in Birmingham, because I'm really big in hiking over there. So they had little mountains to go hike. Or
you definitely don't have those here.
Oh, yeah. Like I tell everybody, the only thing I could hike over here is the overpasses.
The overpasses, yeah.
But who's this, your guest right here?
This is my son, my little best friend, my little sidekick, Francisco as well.
Francisco?
Yeah, Francisco as well. Yes, sir. He wanted to join me today. He was ecstatic when I told him, hey, guess what? I was like, what? I'm going to be on a podcast. He was like, oh, man, I want to go. It's one of his dreams.
Yeah.
To always have his own YouTube channel, do a podcast and stuff, just interview people. And he's here with me. And, I take him everywhere. He goes to work with me, too, on his days off when he's on vacation.
That's good.
He'll go with me, show him, It's one of those things, when I was younger, I hated going with my dad.
All right.
Yeah,
doing
like,
what?
Doing just work. He
did construction.
Construction as well. And I was always like, nah, it's the weekend, or it's my break. I want to stay home. And it's one of those things where towards the older I got, the more I started realizing, hey, if I wanted to learn, I have to go with him. So with him, there's no ifs or buts about it. Like, you're gonna go with me, even if you're just picking up trash or just learning. You know, you're gonna see what it takes to make $1. Though you're gonna appreciate the value of $1 and see, okay, money isn't handed to you. You gotta work for something. If you want it, you work for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he goes. He loves it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how and why did you get into construction? I know you said you started off with your dad or whatever, but why did you kept on going on? I guess
I started. I've always been a hands-on person. I like building things, not working with my hands.
Being creative.
Being creative.
Yeah.
I like to start something from scratch and see the outcome at the end.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, starting or destroying something and making it better than what it was.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of that. So being young, I just hopped around from, little small companies. Started off, mowing grass. There's just different companies. Eventually, my dad, he was like, hey, he's been working at his company for years since he got here from Mexico. He was like, hey, we could talk to the boss. We could, have a spot for you. So finally, one day, I was like, okay, I'll go. And from then on in, his boss, man, can I just do shout outs?
Yeah.
Big shout out, man, to Bonner Faulkner, Andrew Faulkner, their brothers. They have a construction company in Lumberton, and they basically showed me the ropes on everything. They took a shot on me, showed me everything. I went from being just a laborer to running a crew. And because of them, they helped me out, showed me, like I said, showed me everything.
Yeah.
Showed
and
me
this is from like building houses to fences?
We do from fences, constructions, landscaping, irrigation. They pretty much did everything.
Okay.
And I pretty much learned from, tagging along with my dad. Pretty much just learned everything from there. And what happened was one day, he called me into his office. He was like, hey, man, what do you think about the fences? Because he's like, well, I was like, well, I mean, they're cool to do. I like them when we do those. He's like, well, what do you think about, starting your own business? Out the blue, you know? And I was like, what do you mean? He's
how?
like, how? He's like, well, honestly, look, I'm so tied up with all this work that we have. And I'm getting all these fence jobs and we can't do them. He's like, how would you like to do it? Start your own business and then, go from there. Because he always saw, I just always wanted to work. I always asked for more, hey, let me do this, let me do that. To the point where I was like, hey, man, let me go talk to the customers. And you stay home and I'll talk to them, and, take it easy.
Yeah.
So he was like, you can do it. I believe in you. And, man, it was, I was like, can I take it, can I take a little bit of, think about it. He was like, well, I already got some jobs lined up if you want them. So I got home, I talked to my wife. I was like, hey, this and this happened. She's like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, well, honestly, I'm scared. It's always that leap of faith. It's just that jump.
Yeah.
Either I could do this and it can go awesome. Yeah. Or I could do this and we're at zero.
Yeah, because when you're doing your project at your house, it's your house.
It's my house, yeah.
But then when you're doing it at your customer's house, then it's kind of like a whole different story.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
And then you're putting your own money in it and it could just all fall apart.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for maybe a month. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we were living at my mom's. He was maybe 2 years old, 3 years old.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, look, I'm getting a steady paycheck right now, but if this goes great, we can, move up. And I was so scared because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So finally, I took the leap of faith. Mm-hmm. I took it, and it went great. To where it's 4 years now in business. And there's no looking back. I love it. I love the freedom. I love the just being able to be there for my kids, for the awards program, award ceremonies, anything like any little activity they have going to school. I love the freedom about it. And it feels good to be able to, talk to people and call the shots. I don't have to worry about nobody nagging me or anything.
Yeah. How big is your crew?
I have a 3-man crew right now. Okay. Including myself. Yeah. I'm not one of those bosses that goes on the job, hey, here's the material, y'all free. No, I'm on the job from the day we start to the day we complete. I'm there working with the people. Okay. It's just, I'm to the point right now where I like to see everything go the way I kind of want it. Because if anything goes wrong, it's on me.
Yeah, and then you could kind of, I guess, show the other guys too.
Oh, yeah. The other guys, they know what to do, but it kind of motivates them more and it feels better. knowing that, hey, I'm the guy that's here working with them. They see me putting the work in as well, and not just riding around or just in my truck, just hanging out, watching them break their backs to make my business bigger.
You just ride around, pick up a check, and say, okay, peace out, guys.
They don't have to worry about that. They see me, they're sweating with them.
Yeah, you're not built that way. You're out there in the trenches too.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, I call it. So why did you? We talked about why did you start the business? Just because you want to take a leap of faith, and you saw the opportunities, like that your previous job or your job wasn't keeping up, so kind of say, hey, there's a lot of money to be made out there, and we can't keep up with the demand.
And it was great. Like I said, it was a huge risk that they also took at me. Like I said, he had a couple jobs lined up, and he threw them my way. He could have just threw in somebody. There's hundreds of fence contractors out there. There's hundreds of people who do the same thing I do. Yeah. But he decided to take that risk on me. Something I'm forever grateful for them, And it was just one of those things, man. It's like, say, it was either all go in all or go, nothing. Yeah. But what's crazy about that is that when that started, it was around September. And the first month he had those jobs lined up. So the first month I worked, I knocked out about 3 jobs. I got paid, and I was like, oh my God, this is how much I'm making. This is gonna be amazing. I told my wife, I'm not going back to working for nobody ever again. Yeah. And then December and January, which are considered the slow seasons, kicked in, and everything went downhill. Oh man, when I said I was stressing, man, no jobs coming, because it's December, it's Christmas time, it's New Year's. Everybody needs to buy presents. Nobody wants to waste money until the new year. Yeah. So man, I was driving around for days. Like if I passed by your house and even one board was hanging off your fence, I'm knocking on your door. Hey man, I'll do this for such and such. Yeah. I was on a mission, because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna start off good and just go downhill and just end there. Yeah. So I was driving for days, knocking on every door, leaving business cards on every door I saw, and talking to people. Hey, nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Here's my business card. In case you ever have, any problems, give me a call. Yeah.
What other marketing you do?
As far as marketing goes, by just Facebook, basically. Facebook and word of mouth. Yeah. Okay. Word of mouth helps.
I guess when it's more local. Facebook is always more better for local.
Exactly. Things. Yeah. I learned to join a lot of neighborhood groups. Oh. Okay. Every neighborhood in Beaumont, Lumberton, Port Arthur, every subdivision has their own Facebook group. In case, hey, somebody's dog got lost. Oh, we'll just post it on this group page, and we know who it's for. So I follow a lot of those, and they helped me a lot. So like I said, word of mouth and Facebook. Yeah. I never did no paid advertisement or nothing like that. Luckily, I have a lot of support. A lot of people I grew up with, they share my stuff. They shout me out. If somebody asks, they're quick to give my number away. So a lot of it goes to the people that I grew up with as well for the support. That's one thing I'm grateful for, is the support that I have from people that I've known for a long time. And we all have businesses, and we all share each other's works. We all support each other here and there.
So, Carl, I know you say you started doing fences. How would you grade my fence? Just by looking at it right quick when you come in. Man, I did my best. I'm still working on it. I still got to do some stuff right there.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're tied up, I'll give you, I'll stop by and give you a quote. But I mean, it's not. I mean, it's great. I saw it.
It does its job.
It does what it has to do.
Yeah, it's keeping the dogs inside.
We have this thing that every time we drive somewhere, and I see a new fence going up, or I see somebody build a new fence, what do I always be saying? I don't know. We drive around, and if somebody, I'm like, oh man, they didn't call me. And so now every time we see a new fence and I didn't do it, he'll be like, they didn't call you. And it's just this ongoing thing. Yeah. But man, I'm not worried about it, man. Yeah. There's enough money to go around for everybody.
But me personally, I just love working with my hands, and I just love tackling a project. That's what I like to do,
Oh yeah, man. I always say that, man. I mean, I get free quotes all the time, and there's people who call me on a daily for a free quote. Yeah. and a lot of times it's a little bit above their budget, or maybe they're just saving up. But I'm one of those people that if I have the time to do something, I'll try. Yeah. If not, and if it's just not, it doesn't go the way I plan, then you pay somebody who knows what they're doing, you know. But I'm one of those guys, before I pay somebody, I'm gonna try to do it myself, you know. Because I mean, as a man, I think we're wired that way. Where like you try to do something before you fall back and depend on somebody else, you know. So hey.
Yeah, the worst thing could happen. You might have to do it twice.
Might do it twice, yeah, but at least
you learn. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's better. At least you learn on hand, and
at least you can say you did it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You do concrete work as well too, or
we do a little bit of everything. Okay. Like I said, I have crews on call. When I say crews, I mean people I know who have their own business as well. Got it. You know, so I have friends who do concrete work.
If you know your friends who do concrete work, I would love to have them come here, have them in the podcast, and then actually get a bid on
doing something.
I do, because I call it my barn right there. It's a 3-bay barn, right? And the first bay is concrete, but the last 2 bays are not.
Okay, so you got to clear that up.
Yeah, kind of.
You think about doing that yourself?
Oh hell no, that's too big of a job for me, you know. I know my limits, you know what I mean. I was like fancy stuff like that is kind of not too bad, and you know you can kind of take your time, whatever. And if you mess up, you kind of easy fix,
not no concrete.
Concrete,
right?
Yeah, like nah, let me go ahead and pay a professional to do that.
Yeah, I have friends that do concrete work. I have friends that do roofing. I have friends that do remodeling. Just one thing that I learned too is networking, man. Networking, knowing people who do things, making it like more like a team thing, you know?
And that's one another reason why I wanted to create this podcast too, you know what I mean? For the people in Southeast Texas to learn about the people who are doing the work, get to know them. But then also me too, you know what I mean? I might need some help in doing like, let's say the concrete work, but I don't know who to get.
What it call?
But now since if I get somebody who does concrete work and I see their stories, I know about them, and I trust them, and I say, hey, give me a bid.
Trust goes a big way, man. Trust goes a big way. One of the big things that I've always said when I go to a job, even to look at it, just talk to the people. Yeah. You know, my goal is to make let you know you can trust me, because people spend money. People spend a lot of money on projects, whether it's concrete, whether it's fences, whether it's plumbing, no matter what. These people that don't know you are putting their trust with their money into you to do a great job at what you do. So when I get there, I try to talk to them, let them know, hey, what's going on there. I've seen other fence companies get to jobs, measure, and leave. Not one word to the client, nothing. And I like to get to know the people, to hear their stories too. Hey, what's going on? I'm having trouble with my neighbor. Okay, what's going on with the neighbor? What did they do?
The dog. I hate the dog.
I've heard some crazy stories on why people need fences. Yeah. So it's I like to know, and that way, hey, we'll figure it out. We'll get this done, and you have nothing to worry about, And one of the things about me is that I don't require a deposit. I've learned that, if I want people to trust me, I have to trust them. Yeah. So I'm one of the few that says, hey, you don't have to pay me until the job's done and you're satisfied, and then I'll accept payment. Yeah. And so far, I've been lucky. Nobody's tried to be like, hey, I'm not going to pay you, So.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes good.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what other challenges have you guys faced doing this?
Well, he said it's playgrounds, and he says, like, they're puzzles. So.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of playgrounds?
Well, playground sets, what happened is 2 years ago, like I said, I started planning ahead. So December is always November, ends of the November, December, January, it's usually my slow season. So what I started doing was doing playground sets. Okay. A lot of people that I've seen, they always have playground sets or thinking about buying them. So
for gifts, I guess.
For gifts for their kids, So I started, telling, hey, I'll build a playground set, this and that. And it's one of those things where every year I do it, and every year I tell myself, next year I'm done with them. I'm done, because they're big puzzles, and they're time consuming. And it's just basically, man, I hate puzzles. Yeah. And every year I tell myself no more, and every year I catch myself doing them over and over again.
So when you get done with those playgrounds. It's little Francisco, his job to actually try them out, make sure it's good.
There. Oh, he's there with me. Those are one of the things where I for sure take him. Like, you're gonna do these with me.
Yeah.
Because he's always asking me every year, "Are you gonna do some this year? Are you gonna do some this year?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Come on." I'm like, "All right, come on. Well, if I go, you're going with me." And sure enough, it falls in between the 2-week break they get from school.
Oh.
So he's always with me. We did one. We completed one just this last week, right before Christmas. We got one. He was there. He tested the slide. He tested the swings. And it was great.
Frankie approved, huh?
Little Frankie approved.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, like you have any crazy or funny stories that you kind of could share with us, you know?
Crazy, funny stories.
Oh, funny. It doesn't have to be both.
I mean, basically, what could be the craziest thing that's happened? I mean, the only thing that happens on more often than other times is the dog attacks.
Dog attack?
Oh, there's times where, hey, I tell a customer, hey, we're gonna be tearing the fence down this day, so let the neighbors know. We get there, we start tearing it down, and hey, did y'all let them know? Yeah, we let them know. The dogs drop, boom, boom, boom. We start cutting pieces down, and it's happened more than once. Here comes these dogs coming charging at us. So I'm scared of dogs.
Oh, really?
Me too.
I'll have a dog, and I don't mind petting dogs. But that fear of getting attacked, I'm not gonna wait for no dog to jump on me, you know.
I don't know if it's true, but I believe is that I think they could sense fear, you know. I think
they say that. I've heard the same thing. So I've tried to where I'm like, I'm not scared. But when you see a dog charging at you full speed, I'm taking off, you know. Or if I have a shovel in my hand or whatever, but basically, man, that's happened more than times than I can count, man. It's just, that's the biggest thing that I worry about is the dogs.
I have a funny story about dogs in the backyard. I used to have two dogs, right? One was like a lab, mix or something. And then I had like a miniature Dachshund, right? So not the very big dog. Even the other was like a medium-sized dog. But my next door neighbor, there was a wooden fence, but I think it got damaged during a hurricane or whatever. And so my two dogs, especially the little one, for some reason the little one likes to bark the most, you know?
It's always the little one.
Yeah. So they were always barking at the other two big dogs. The other two big dogs were like pit bulls. And I have a pit bull, but it's not like these pit bulls were big pit bulls, you know what I mean? They're probably easily 100 pounds.
Eat the little dog alive.
Exactly, you know? And then they're just barking at each other, you know? And then so the pit bulls broke into my side of the fence. And holy shit. Once they broke in, man, my two dogs were like, "Hey, how you doing?"
that wasn't me barking. That was the other dog.
I don't know. I think they left already. So it's funny. So yeah, it's like, whoa.
And it's always the little dogs too, man. It's always the little dogs. One time, and it was last year actually, we were doing a playground set, and we had been there. It takes a playground set for us usually takes about maybe depending on the size, about 2 to 3 days.
Oh wow!
So yeah, they take a lot of people don't realize they take a while, you know. So we were there the first day. It got late, so we had to come back the next day. The lady, she forgot to put up her Great Danes.
Oh
yeah, big dogs,
those big dogs,
dogs. So me and the two guys that helped me out, we walk into the backyard with our tools, you know, the drills and everything. We're ready, you know. It's 8:00 in the morning. Got a cup of coffee in one hand, a drill in the other hand. We walk to the backyard. We close the gate, and then we go to the backyard. We start working. Out the corner of my eye, I see a big old dog, and it's just staring at me. So I quietly, I'm like, "Hey, there's dogs right there." They're like, "Where?" They turn around, man. They take off. The first thing I did, I got in that playground set to the very top. Luckily, we had just built the top section the night before. I get to the top. I call that lady. "Hey, the dogs are outside."
Yeah.
You know, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear y'all come in, so I didn't put the dogs out."
You didn't know you can move that fast, huh?
But man, when I say I dropped everything, and it was just one of those days. Oh, that could have been it.
Yeah.
Big Great Danes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Talking about playgrounds, and also I have a playground back there. Well, it was actually a playground, big child playground. You said it may have had a slide at one point, but they had it behind the barn. It used to be one big old connected, right? Yeah. So before I put the post up for my fence, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could use this playground like some type of structure for a doghouse. So I don't know if you see that doghouse right there.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me do that. So it was heavy. You know, I mean, it's just probably as long as this room or whatever.
Okay.
And it's heavy. So I was like, man, let me just hook it up to my straps onto my truck and just drag it. Yeah, it worked, you know.
Yeah, if it works.
I got it in there before I put the post up, you know. I figured I'd do that first before I put the post. And so I was like, man, what can I do? So sure enough, when we get done, I'll show you how it is. But I went ahead and just cut it like in half.
In half?
Yeah. So I had the bottom portion, or I think it's the top portion. I used it as the doghouse because it has some plastic around it.
Around the little walls on it.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. So that's what I used as a doghouse. I just put like a plywood on the top, then I put a tarp on top.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. A lot of you can use a lot of stuff, man. There's times I'll tear down the fence and I'll bring it home, and then I'll put leave the trailer there, all the trash, and I'm gonna dump it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who knock on my door, hey man, can I have some of these old fence panels, or can I have some of the old panels? Hey man, take what you need. I mean, it's not. Either way, I'm throwing it away.
Yeah.
So take what you need, and it happens all the time. I live on a corner house,
and the people know that you do
and
that
they
work.
Know I do
yeah.
business, so they
swing by, see what he got.
Let me see what he got today. And man, there's people digging in my trailer. I was like, hey, as long as y'all put everything, don't make a mess. Y'all free to take whatever you want. And man, it happens all the time. I'll be looking at my cameras like maybe 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody pre-parked there with their truck, taking everything what they need. But hey, I mean, you can always reuse stuff. One man's trash, another man's treasure, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Even if it's just like regular wood, you could probably use it as just fire or whatever. You know?
Oh man, we love that. We love doing using the old wood to make fires when it's cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I have it like a little pit there that, well, I call it. I think at work they had like 2 flanges and 2 inserts, whatever. So I was like, you know what, I could use that as like a pit, and sure enough, use it as a pit.
And it works.
Yeah.
If it works, it works, man. That's what I always say. If it works, it works.
So I always like to ask my guests, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. I definitely see myself being bigger, being a bigger company. I don't like to take too much on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to keep everything steady.
Especially since you want to be kind of like hands-on there.
Exactly. You know, I could always go on and just look at jobs, you know, but I like the feeling of being there. I like the feeling of being hands-on, like you say. And at the same time, I feel like my goal isn't to get rich. My goal is just enough to be financially free, and have time to be able to enjoy my kids, enjoy the money I am making, and not just get lost in trying to make more and more money.
Yeah, that's what I see. Some people I know. I have a friend. He said does real estate. Shout out to Eric, aka Brown Sugar. But what I call it, he does a lot of investing in a rental property, houses and stuff like that. And he's very successful. You know what I mean? He's a chemist as well too. But I did notice that, he was just too focused on just making money, making rent and stuff like that. But he wasn't focusing too much on like his traveling, doing or whatever. You know what I mean? Time
will pass you up, man.
Yeah, eventually
time will pass you up. Before you know it, 5 years later, 10 years later, And of course, you could say, I've been working, I've been hustling, but what have you done for yourself? Take time, because one day, the next day isn't promised.
Yeah,
take those trips, enjoy the time,
Especially your kids, man. They grow up quick.
Oh, they're growing up, man.
How old are you? Like 9
years old, yeah.
See, my son, he's about to turn 21 next year.
Wow, okay.
So I'll call it. So, he got his own life already. Once they get a certain age, when they start working or whatever, they hardly got time for you no more.
So I always say, enjoy that time, man. But 5 years, man, that's another thing that you brought up. Flipping houses has always been one of my end goals. Besides doing fences and construction or anything, I've seen people do it, and I feel like it's one of those things that I know I can do. And it's one of those things where I can bring in the whole family, not just people I know, but to bring my family in, and do everything as a team. Yeah. So that's one of my goals in 5 years. Start buying houses, renovating them myself, and then flipping them.
Yeah. You got like brothers and sisters to help you out?
I have one brother and one sister. They're doing their own thing.
Oh, okay.
But I feel if I can make this, I have a dream that if I can make this big enough for us, I can get everybody involved. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm thinking about. I don't know about doing this podcast. Like, hey, who knows? Maybe I could do good. And then my son wants to help do something, editing, whatever, something he could learn or whatever.
Yes, sir.
But we'll see. We don't know what he's gonna want to do.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he'll want to go into the fence business.
I
hopefully he's gonna be my an all-star baseball player one day.
Oh yeah,
we're big on that, and that's another thing, man. Being able to have the freedom I have, I get to be at all his games. My daughter, she's we signed her up for T-ball this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a help coach too, so it gives me more freedom to do things like that while they're little. You know?
Well, I call it. That's one thing that I guess some people don't realize, that just having like a regular 9-to-5 job doesn't always mean that you're gonna be happy at that job. You know what I mean? You might like the job or whatever, but are you gonna really be happy long term?
Yeah. I mean, I know people who have not. I mean, I know a lot of people who do different things, and I know at least one person in each type of job, like from a 9-to-5 business. It's all in the mind. It's all a mindset thing. You could be happy no matter what. I know people who have 9-to-5s and they're incredibly happy. Mm-hmm. I know people who have their own business and they're stressed out on a daily. It's pros and cons to everything.
It depends what type of personality you have. If you have the entrepreneur and just the thick skin, just push through whatever.
Yeah, when I say running the business is stressful, man. Shout out to everybody who took that leap. Shout out to everybody who's doing it, because it gets heavy. It gets heavy trying to keep everything in motion.
Yeah, especially when it's like your livelihood. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You need to make like I said, this podcast is not really like a livelihood for me. I was kind of doing it for like almost for fun, hobby, and see from there, see how it grows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end, it's just my mission on this, just to let the community know, all the people that work in all the type of industries or whatever.
And this is great, because when you see other people doing small businesses, a lot of us, we like to give back to the community as well. I have like just this December, man, me and some other people have small businesses. I got Pedro with Gonzalez with GTS. I got
shout out to Pedro.
Shout out Pedro. I got my homeboy Edgardo from Bulldog Dumpster. Shout out to him. Carlos from Tacos La Bamba, he helped us. Shout out to him. Jose with Tri-City Metalworks. Shout out to him.
Hey, if you guys want to come on, just let me know.
On the show, man. Come talk. Armando Compian with Dos Carnales Barbecue. Shout out to him. Mm-hmm. We all get together, man. we're all from the same community, so we like to give back to the community. So we do, toy drives at the end of the year. But we all go through the same struggles. We all, with it, being able to come together and just still help other people out. And that's what I tell the people too, is we're businesses, and we're people who we're not just gonna come here into the community and make as much money as we can off of you. We're always gonna give back, and that's what you want. You want those companies that'll sponsor your kids' baseball team, sponsor their cookouts, sponsor their soccer team, their soccer games. You want people like that. Yeah,
you're locally grown.
Exactly.
It's not like the big companies. Let's say, for example, Walmart, Lowe's, and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. There's people, you waste hundreds and hundreds out there, but one of the satisfactions is that knowing that, hey, if I spend in any type of work, whether it's from tires or barbecue or my fences for me, that at the end of the year, throughout the whole year, we're giving money back to the community, to the kids who need it, to homeless people, to anything that anybody needs it. Y'all can count on us, and not just some big corporation that doesn't care who you are or anything like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, any last words for the audience?
The only thing I could say, business-wise, is know your worth. Mm-hmm. Know your worth. That's one of the big lessons I learned, is know your worth. When you do something and you're good at it, hey, get paid for it. Don't let nobody come in and be like, hey, I'll give you less and less than that. When you know what you're doing and you're great at it, that's what like you said, that's your livelihood. Get paid for it.
Yeah. And just because you could do it fast doesn't mean you should get paid less. It just means you got that much skills.
That much skills and you're better. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. And that's one of my biggest things I tell everybody is know your worth. Because there's people who do the same thing you're doing for cheap. Yeah. For beer, as people say, for beer money. Mm-hmm. But when you do stuff out of passion, when you're good at it, and you've been doing this for years, it's all about the wisdom that comes with doing the same thing every day, and not just somebody who wants to make a few bucks and buy a couple beers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So know your worth. That's what I always say.
How about personally?
Personally, If I could tell anybody anything personal, was just, well, as far as like having my kids, just time. Enjoy the time. Enjoy every day, you know. Learn to be less stressful. I learned that no matter how much you stress, the problems are still going to be there the next day, you know. So it's all about learning how to cope with everything and just enjoying the time, man, because we're only here for a short time. You never know when it's going to be your last day.
Yeah.
So I try to make the most out of every day as far as going to work, as far as coming to my kids, you know, doing stuff for everybody. If I'm going to leave and I'm going to be gone tomorrow, I want people to say, okay, he had this impact on my life, or this guy was such a great, he did this and this and that. He really, you know, helped a lot. I don't want to die and be like, oh, this guy was, you know, an ass, you know? Like, who cares? He's going, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I want to be able to leave an impact to where, like, my kids can look up, or if my kid, you know, if I'm not here, if something happens, my kids can go to the store and be like, you know, I knew your dad. He was he was an awesome guy. I want somebody, I want them to be able to speak great on me to my kids, so they know, you know, that it wasn't just me at home being a great dad, you know. They're just really how I am, you know.
So how about you, little Francesco? Any last words?
Any last words?
For what?
For to say goodbye to the audience, look.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Here's one last final question I just thought of. So is little Frankie, you think a possibility of taking over the job, the construction business? Maybe.
Depends if
It has sons in there, so you have to take it over, right?
Depends if I get a team in baseball.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing too. Before we stop, Frankie is actually my father. My father, he's known by everybody as Frankie.
Oh, okay.
So when I started this, and I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Of course, I'm gonna name this business as the man who taught me everything I know. You know, so it's Frankie and Sons, and I'm basically
you're the son. Oh, okay.
So people ask me all the time, "Are you Frankie or are you Sons?" Oh, I'm the Sons.
Oh, okay.
You know, but he doesn't work with me.
You can't break the tradition.
I'm the Sons also.
So he's gonna be the Sons, yes, sir. Or he might just be a big old famous baseball player one day, right? One day.
Yeah,
yes,
one day. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and if you remember, like, comment, subscribe. Sure helps the channel grow. Peace out. All right, guys. Bye.